Do you ever just wish you could take a day off and spend it with your family? You and your family can enjoy a day at Disney World or elsewhere when the weather is nice and you're just having a blast being with each other. Well, all you have to do is plan a vacation to somewhere you and your family or whoever will be involved in this vacation would enjoy it and could have some get-together time. I will be presenting an informative speech. Throughout my speech, I will give you some information on Florida. Parts of the information I will be giving you will include some fun facts, history, and traveling expenses, such as gas prices, airline tickets, hotels, rental cars, or taxis, etc. So, first, to start out my essay, I was researching Florida. I came across some fun facts about the state. I won't talk a lot about each individual fact because they're pretty self-explanatory or there's just not much to explain. But anyways, so my first fact is the capital. The capital of Florida is Tallahassee. The population is 17,019,068. The governor is Rick Scott. He has been in this position for a couple of years. The state motto is "In God We Trust." And the nickname of Florida is the Sunshine State or the Peninsula State, and this is due to the warm weather. The state song is the Rainy River, also known as Old Folks at Home. The next one is the state bird, and that is the mockingbird. It is also the state bird in Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Texas. The next thing is the state flower, and the state flower is the orange blossom, and the state tree is the Sabal palmetto. I thought it would be kind of fun and interesting to learn more about Florida's history because it is a fairly large state. Also, one, because there's so much about it, and two, because it would be very educational and informational. So while looking up some of Florida's history, I picked out what I thought was most informational and interesting, and I'm going to share what I thought was interesting with you. So those points that I chose to talk on are first, who discovered it? Juan Ponce de Leon discovered the state of Florida in 1513. Florida was under colonial rule by Spain and Great Britain during the 18th and 19th centuries before becoming a territory of the United States in 1822. Because Juan Ponce de Leon was from Spain, that gave Spain the ownership of Florida. Disney World. Disney World has been known to attract many tourists to Florida in the past, and that still holds true today. The rich environments in prehistoric Florida supported many large animals, most of which were mammals that are commonly known in today's society. It also included some mammals that are extinct today, and those are the saber-toothed tiger, the mastodon, the great armadillo, and the camel. Florida first experienced severe hurricanes in 1926 in 1926, and they still occur in certain parts of Florida today. Florida's economic bubble burst in 1926 when money and credit ran out. In 1929, the Mediterranean fruit fly invaded Florida, causing the citrus industry to suffer severely. So another reference I was using what I already knew about traveling and vacations. So I thought to myself, well, I have the history and some fun facts about Florida. So what am I missing? Well, I found that I'm missing a huge part of a vacation. The traveling expenses. So I went through and researched some of the major traveling expenses. The ones I thought were important are the cost for an airline ticket. It can range majorly depending on the type of plane you want to ride. The lowest cost I found was $359, and that's from Idaho to Florida. And the highest one I found was approximately $1,755. But it all depends on what airline you use and the distance you're traveling. Hotels. Hotels can range highly from if you want a nice hotel or if you just want a hotel that will suit your needs and have all that you need. Rental cars. Rental cars and gas. So you can get a rental car for about $8 to $12 a day in Florida. But you have to pay for the gas, and the gas can depend on where you go. Also, there's taxis, and taxis in Florida cost $2.25 per mile. So both transportation methods cost a bit of money. There's a ton of activities contained in Florida. So depending on what part you go to, the activity will range. However, you may want to set a daily spending amount so that you don't overspend all your money in one day. And then you can also find an activity according to your amount. There's a Disney World, SeaWorld, Aquatica, a ton of other activities that are awesome. It's helpful to take a map with you when you're traveling because if you have a map with you, you won't go the wrong direction and you won't get lost. It's pretty much guaranteed as long as you at least study where you're going. A map could also shorten your driving time because by having the roads marked out for you and laid out in front of you so that you don't have to think of where to go. And it can make it easier to locate places such as hotels, rest areas, locations to get some food, things like that. When planning to travel, you may want to look at the temperature, the news for the area, and any other important factors that could delay your driving time. So, in the end, it all boils down to a large cost, yes, but a load of fun. In my essay, I discussed the expenses, the history of Florida, and some fun facts about Florida. For those of you who want to go to Florida, you could pick up a few tips out of my speech. It's also a good way to bring your family closer together and have a few days of bonding and maybe getting to know each other better. I hope that you all learned something from my speech. I know that while researching my topic, I learned a lot. I hope that those of you that have a dream vacation, which should be everybody, will get the inspiration from my speech to do research on your dream vacation. You can actually learn a lot from it. It takes time and a lot of reading, but you will love your trip even more if you know some of the history and information about the location. So I hope you take that from me and will learn something and search your dream vacation. Well, that's it from me. Thank you for watching.
Dry run.